Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you for stopping in. Today we are taking a look at a brand new flashlight coming in from Nitecore, and I think this is going to be the one that seals the deal for a lot of people. Before we dive in, make sure you are subscribed here to the channel. I release daily knife and EDC content, and hit that thumbs up button. That helps push this video out there to more people, and let us know what you're carrying in your pockets today down in the comments. So, Nitecore, one of my favorite flashlight companies, one of my favorite tech companies, period. Not only do they put out some fantastic flashlights, but they have the best battery banks in the entire game, in my opinion. But today, we're going to be taking a look at their new EDC23, and I believe these just dropped. I will have links to the flashlights, all of them that you're going to see here today, and I'll put in one of their battery banks as well, all down in the description. So they have been putting out over the last year these full-sized EDC flashlights. It first started off with the 27, which I don't have here today, and then it went to the 25, and then the 27 redone in the UHI version. Very recently, they put out the 29, and now we have the brand new EDC 23. And as you can see here, this is going to be a lot smaller size. So this is going to fit in the pocket even better than the original series, and I think they can do a lot off the 23 size. I also think they could shorten it and make a smaller one and have 3 different sizes. I think they could also do a dot system and make this flashlight even cheaper for people who, maybe don't want to spend 70 to 80 on a flashlight, which is where the EDC 23 is going to fall, right between that $70 and $80, depending on where you get it. These flashlights are all going to be different in their price points. Like I said, I'll have them linked down below if you want to check them out as well. But the really cool thing about the 23 is it has everything that they have done up until now, all in one flashlight and a new size. So we're going to be looking at an organic LED screen here, an OLED screen, and we have a very simple user interface here, which we're going to get into. We have an aluminum body texturing on both sides. We have a pocket clip here that works really good in and out of the pocket. It works very well in the hand. We're going to get to that here in a moment. Now, the EDC 23, like the new 29, has their new slide lock switch on the side here. And what that is going to do is allow you the ability to lock this out very quickly. Now, you could lock out these two, but it was via a button, kind of a button code that you had to push in both and hold in one. Now, all you have to do is slide a switch. You have 2 different locking modes with the flashlight. You have your standard lock here, which is right there. And that is going to be lock number 2, which means you can't do anything except check your battery level. Now, if we take that off, if we push in our power button here and hold that down and slide it up, that'll put us in what's called lock mode number 1. Now, you can't use your main power button, but you can still do the half press and get your turbo, and you can still get your strobe. So that's a cool feature of this locking system and this mode. So you won't be able to engage the light like that, which is great, but you do still have the access to the turbo and strobe. Now, very easy to operate this flashlight. Your main power button here is going to be your 4 main modes, and you can select your lumen mode or your level before you even turn it on. So if we turn this off here, we can turn this on. It's a half click, and that'll allow you the ability to cycle through all the levels before even turning it on, which is really cool. Now, you can just turn it on. It's going to remember the last place you had it. So you have options there. You can select, okay, I just need a little bit of light, so we're going to go with the 15 lumen. or I need quite a bit of light, let's get the 1100 out and select that. So very cool, very easy operating system. And then your secondary power switch here, or maybe your auxiliary power switch, is going to be a half press turbo, and then watch your eyes, this is a flashlight video. Strobe is a full press, and those are both going to be at the 2500 lumen output, which is the max output for this flashlight. Now, that is not the most out of all these flashlights or anything like that, but 2500 lumens is going to do the job in most cases, especially for an EDC flashlight. If we're talking around the house, around the property, that's a completely different discussion. But I do think with that 2500 lumen capability, it can kind of transition into from your EDC light to a little bit of around the house, inside, around the outside, a little bit. It can accomplish the job. I would want something more powerful, definitely, but 2500, especially coming out of the Nitecore here, it's got a good amount of flood and a good amount of throw as well. And we can take a look here. They put all the things that come with it in the box here on the side, as well as all the specs, or the main specs, on the other side. 2500 lumen max output. We have 2720 candela here, a 280 meter max distance, 2 meter impact resistant, and then an IP54 rating. Now, if you're not familiar with the IP rating, the first number is going to be the amount of dust that can enter or not enter. So if it's up at a 6, that is the best. Now, this is going to be up at a 5. So it's not quite the best. Your second number is going to be how much water can it resist, or how much water does it take in on a scale from 1 to 8. Now, in this case, we're sitting at a 4. So that's right in the middle, 8 being the best. Typically, what you want to see there is an IP 66, 67, maybe even 65. But the way this flashlight is done, I have carried these two extensively, the 25 and the 27 UHI. This one, I've carried a decent amount, but not near as much as these. This one is fairly new, but it's going to operate just like these. I have had these out in very mild rain, sprinkling, and so on, and up to a heavier downpour, especially the 27 UHI here. Being as these flashlights are all 54 rating, that means it can basically protect from splashing from different directions, basically, but cannot be like submerged, right? Type of a deal. That's basically what that means. So don't jump in your pool, don't jump in the ocean, don't jump in the river with it, right? If you want something like that, then you're going to have to look at something else, right? But in my experience, and I'm not saying, mine's the definitive answer or the definitive way, but I've had these out in the rain, and as you can see here, they function and work just fine. And they showed no signs of slowing down in the rain. As a matter of fact, I used both of these in multiple different rain scenarios before I even knew that this was an IP54 rating. I thought, 67, 68, something like that. Usually it's a 66 or 67. Usually they can go down in a meter of water for 30 minutes. That's where I would like to see this flashlight upgraded. I don't know if that's possible for them to do or not, but that is something I would like to see this light evolve into. Secondarily, there's a couple of tweaks that would make this flashlight go from amazing to out of this world good. It's a great flashlight as it sits right now. But I'd like to see the IP rating get bumped up a little bit, at least in the rain department. The dust and debris, out of 5, that's pretty good. 5 out of 6, right? I'd like to see 6, but not bad. But I would like to see the water rating bumped up to a meter for 30 minutes or whatever that standard is. It's 67. IP67 is where I'd like to see this, if it's possible. The second thing is I'd like to see this clip redone. And if this was a rollover style clip, this would carry about that deep. You'd have about that tab sticking out, which would not be a whole lot, and I still think would be just enough to grab a hold of and pull this in and out of the pocket. Changing that over to a fold over clip, I think would also change the game for a lot of people, because I think a lot of people, there was a lot of people who bought this light, but there's another half or so that didn't want to pick one of these up based on its length. And that is why the EDC23 exists now. I think as they get more consumer feedback, I think they will start to make some of these changes. But I see, and this is not a fault of Nitecore, this is not a mistake by Nitecore or anything like that, and I'm not saying that. If I'm designing this flashlight and I have this right here, I see the internal struggle between doing it this way, because functionally, this works really, really well. Not only is it awesome and very easy to get a hold of this light and pull it out of the pocket, as well as put it back down in the pocket, the clip works phenomenally, and it is awesome in the hand. Very, very comfortable. All these are. They are all the same pocket clip, and they are all very comfortable in the hand. Aesthetics and stuff like that are kind of secondary, although the clip don't look, it looks fine. It is what it is on a flashlight. I would like to see that rollover. I think that would help carry this. It would help carry this deeper, and I still think it would give you the functionality that Nitecore's looking for out of these, because ergonomics and accessibility and usability are the main things we're looking for with a flashlight. So this accomplishes that. And then they give you a little lanyard spot here. But I would like to see this clip folded over, a different style of clip, even if they wanted to keep this part and just roll it over. That is going to help carry this flashlight so much deeper in the pocket, which would be a game changer. If they modify that clip and up that IP rating a little bit, I think this is a concrete, top 2, top 3 option easily for an everyday carry flashlight for anyone. And you throw out the dot system in another one and put it out at like $50 and keep this one at like 70, 75 or whatever for the screen, man, they got themselves a killer lineup here between the smaller setup and the full-size setup here. I like the dot system as well. I wanted to touch on that quick. This is going to be a cheaper system to put in. So I think if they created a 23 with the dot system, that would decrease the price and open the market up, or these flashlights up, to a whole nother group of buyers, right? They're going to be $20, $25 cheaper. That's going to be a game changer. So I think that is something important to take note of. I don't know if that's something they were considering or could be. I think that they should be, though. I think that would be a very smart move. But I think this is a great lineup of flashlights. I have basically, except for here at my desk, when I use my desk lights, I exclusively have been using these 3 flashlights here. These 2 more so than the 29, but I have been using these 2 for months at this point, and I absolutely love them. I have had these full, killed the battery and full several times over for both of them, because I really wanted to get a good feel for them and test them out and really report back on how these flashlights have done. And I've been extremely happy with these Nitecore flashlights. They carry very easily, the thin body. They just feel very good in hand, very easy user interface, which is something I You know, that is something I really look for. A very easy user interface, a decent amount of power. And I do agree with people who I've heard say about the low lumen mode. The lowest you can go is 15, where I'm pretty much okay with that. There are a lot of people that wish it had like a 1 or 2 lumen mode. And I agree. I would like that option as well. And that would be great. Another great addition to these flashlights. If you could use, you know, maybe like a half press on the main power button to access low lumen or moonlight mode, or just incorporate it in the levels. Just out of 5th level, do 1.5 lumens to 15, and then on, so on, right? So I love this flashlight as it sits. With a couple of added features, this flashlight would be game over, game changer type stuff. And it's well on its way. Nitecore is a company that continues to innovate and innovate. You know, this is just a line, and I'm missing one, at least one, just out of the last year or so. So they're continually getting better and better, and I love what Nitecore is doing. Like I said, not only are their flashlights phenomenal, but their battery banks, anyone who has one, I think, will tell you they are the best in the business. Anchor is good, but Nitecore is great. So, you know, they're a little bit more pricier, but, you know, you get some added bonuses if you pay that little bit more money. But I've featured them many times on the channel. But let me know what you think of Nitecore, their line of flashlights. Do you have anything from them? And if you do, I would love to hear what you think. Also, let me know if you have any, you know, constructive ideas for them and their flashlights. Your opinions, my opinions, they help these companies get better. So, you know, feel free to, down the comments, along with your carry, tell us what you think of this line of knives and if there's any changes you would make. If there's no changes you would make to the flashlight, because I'm sure there's people out there who care nothing about anything I said as far as changes. And I'd be fine if they didn't, but those are changes I would like to see. I would still buy this flashlight as it sits, no question about it, especially at the, I think, $75 mark, which is where it's full retail on their website. So we're bound to be able to get it even a little cheaper here in the future. So definitely good with that price. I think this competes heavily with a lot of the other flat-faced flashlights that are out there. No question about it, with the Streamlight Wedge, with the O-Light series, with the other flat-faced, you know, there's a couple I can't think of. These easily compete with them. And for people who maybe struggle to, you know, figure flashlights out and know when they need charged and all that sort of thing, having that screen and letting you know where the battery is an awesome feature. And not only that, but when you put this on a given lumen, let's just say we go to 15 lumens, that is going to last 36 hours at 15 lumens. You know, that's going to be, you know, probably an estimation, but that's probably going to be a pretty close estimation, you know. So that is one thing I've been trying to nail down. Initially, I didn't have that ability. It was just a dot system. But then once I got this one, I really wanted to test that and see how close it is. I'm sure that they have done the R&D on it to get it where it needs to be. So I'm sure it's pretty accurate. But it's something I wanted to test out myself as well. But having that ability with that screen is just a game changer. That's one thing I really loved about the Kubey X3 was that screen. But this is a totally different animal, letting you know how long you have at that given level. That's something special right there. So I love what Nitecore's doing. I hope they keep it up. I hope they keep innovating these flashlights, because the possibilities with these two sizes are endless, in my opinion. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I always appreciate that, everyone. If you're new here, I release daily knife and EDC content just like this. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. That'll notify you anytime I release new content. I will put a couple of new videos up on your screen right now. Go check one of them out for me. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you all again for watching. I will catch you on the next one.